and welcome to the Parenting Roundabout podcast for the week of November 6th. I'm Catherine Haleko, and I'm here with Terry Morrow.
Hello.
For a weekly episode to talk about parenting in a roundabout way, along with some pop culture and other chit-chat. So, you were telling me that you're trying to make plans for your dog.
What should I do with my dog, Catherine? We have this very sweet little rescue dog that I've talked about. We got her at the end of June, beginning of July. And at the time, we had a vacation scheduled. But we thought, there'll be plenty of time before that. She'll be all used to us. Everything will be good. And then we can board her. And it will be fine. She won't mind. But I worry about this dog because we really know absolutely nothing about her before she was found in a park. Mm-hmm. There's been some things that have made me think that maybe she was mistreated, probably by men. And she still shies away from things. She was getting really peppy and friendly to us, and then she had some stomach problems, and she regressed back into being shy. And now she's just starting to be really friendly and peppy again. And I feel like if I take this dog to a boarding place, she's going to think, well, that family's abandoned me now. Mm-hmm. And, what is next for me? She's going to have all sorts of PTSD and trauma on top of the trauma, whoever knows what it was.
Right.
And I hate to do that to her. On the other hand, I don't really know that we can bring her with us. Mm-hmm. We're going to a resort that I have never seen a dog at in all the years we've gone there. Their website now says dogs under 60 pounds are welcome, but you can't leave them alone in the room, and you can't bring them here, and you can't bring them there. So I'm like, okay, so if you bring the dog, I have to just sit in the room the entire vacation, which I don't really object to, except I would like to go to Mass.
Yes.
And maybe dinner once in a while. But I keep calling to see this resort has a hotel and it has timeshares. We're in the timeshares. Does the dog policy extend to the timeshares? I asked on the website, no answer. I asked on the Facebook page where I have gotten answers before, no answer. I finally said, hey, I guess no answer means no. And they said, just look at our dog policy on the website. And I said, yes, that is what I'm asking about. I sent an email to the timeshare manager, no answer. So I got to think that either they don't, and so they don't want to be bothered, or they do, but they don't want people to actually bring their dogs. Mm-hmm. So they're not going to confirm. Can you either confirm or deny?
Right.
And it's like, well, in that case, I don't want to. It's like none of the possibilities is good.
Right.
Nor is us just not going away. So what do you do with your dogs? We used to take our dogs to the vet and board them there, mm-hmm. but our vet no longer does that. So we have to find another place. We've talked to a doggy resort place that's super fancy and kind of expensive. Mm-hmm. But, they have an application that's 5 pages long. Please document all of your dog's experiences in life. And it's like,
oh my.
Asked about one that's close to us and cheaper and filled out their application, which also wanted to know, how does your dog do with other dogs? What is your dog afraid of? How does your dog respond to all different kinds of people? And it's like,
well,
don't know.
Not sure.
Pretty sure she's got some trauma, mm-hmm. but I'm sure it'll be fine. And I never heard back from them. So it's like, what do we do?
Right. Well, we do take ours to a kennel, where it's like doggy daycare / mm-hmm. they do have overnight boarding, and they've gone, except of course during the pandemic, they've gone mm-hmm. fairly regularly. I mean, when I say regular, a couple times a year, not
right.
I mean, some dogs go to daycare all the time, but mm-hmm. we don't need that. We're here. But I'm going to talk about this later. This Thanksgiving, we are taking them with us to an Airbnb, and I am very nervous.
We did actually take a dog once to, it was like a little condo type inn, mm-hmm. and we just had to keep her in a crate if we weren't there,
right?
Which she was cool about, that dog. And it was really kind of nice. It was kind of fun to have her there, but I don't know about all dogs, if that would be the case. If she had been barking the entire time, I'm not sure they would have been too happy with us.
Right. Yeah. I know. I'm nervous about driving with them, which I don't actually have to do.
Yes.
It's two separate.
That is the other thing.
It's two different cars, so I don't have to care about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if there's a way to take her to one of these boarding places in advance, and do like a trial run.
Yeah, we've done that before. Last time I took a dog to a place like that for a trial run, the dog got sick and never really got well. So.
Oh, no.
But I think she caught something or she drank too much water or something.
Yeah.
But, so I don't know. And yeah, if we take her with us, it's like a 3-hour drive, and this dog does not like being in the car. But on the other hand, if we take her for a short ride to a place where we're boarding her, then she's never going to get in a car again. When I get in the car, people abandon me.
I know what this means.
We're walking home
don't
from
like
here.
it.
Yeah. It's so hard.
It's
I
tough.
wish, not every place can welcome dogs, and, sometimes it's nice to take a vacation from the responsibility.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it just breaks my heart to think of, We'll be back. You know that, right?
Right.
She doesn't know that. How can you explain that to them? It's impossible. So, anyway, that's my particular agony, right? Plus which I was in the middle of trying to figure it out when I broke my wrist, and then I didn't do anything for like 3 weeks, and now it's even closer to the time we're going, and our choices are going to be slim.
Right.
Very happy to have our dog, but it's like, these are the things that are complicated.
I know, exactly. I mean, my brother-in-law has 2 dogs, and they cannot be boarded just because of their behavior. And that caused his wife to not be able to come to our house for Thanksgiving last year. And they take them with, when they drive, they take them with them. So.
You know what that sounds like to me is, it would upset the dog to go, I'll stay home with her. It's okay.
Well, everybody was fine with it. Trust me.
That is something I would do.
Yeah. So
maybe I'm thinking about that now. Gosh, that's an interesting idea.
Yes.
Oh, well, this is a difficult problem, but not as difficult as dancing with an inch of crud on your face.
Yes.
Or a glued on bone mask, or
those weird contact lenses. So many of them had those.
Oh my gosh. Contact lenses aren't something you can just, if you're not experienced with it, pop in, can you? I had the worst experience with contact lenses as a youth.
And also, if you need them to see, how can you prescription like those novelty freaky ones, or are they just like going without? That doesn't seem good.
Course, talking about Dancing with the Stars Monster Night. We're not just getting the boarding place we went. They had weird contact lenses. No, oh my gosh, it was monsters, and they don't do monsters every Halloween. And I was thinking as I was watching all these people in these very elaborate costumes. I mean, kudos to the costume people and to the hair and the makeup people. Excellent work, but the scariest and best dance I've ever seen for Halloween on Dancing with the Stars is the one with Whitney and Frankie, where he was like a star.
Oh, yeah, that was scary.
No makeup, no costumes. It was scary as heck.
Yes.
So
I agree.
So really, maybe people do not need to spend 5 hours in the makeup room to do your Halloween dances.
Right.
Maybe a little more modest next year, because that one worked great.
Yes, that was extremely scary and creepy.
Ooh, go back and watch it. We'll link to it.
Yeah.
That is excellent. So, golly, there were all sorts of mummies and vampires and aliens and whatever the heck it was Ariana and Pasha were. Yeah,
that I didn't really understand. Like, she had her hair turned into like ram's horns or something.
I felt so bad for Charity because that costume was not particularly flattering and it didn't show off dance moves. And the face, she couldn't really emote with that face.
Right.
It was like glued onto her. And so she just looked kind of meh. And then she went on to have that all on for the dance-a-thon too. Right. Which I think that although overall the costumes and makeup were amazing, I think they kind of did her. She must have offended somebody in the hair and makeup room.
And also,
here,
did you notice that she had they had backup dancers, Charity and Artem. They had like
Yes.
5 people in the back
They had backup
in
skeletons.
skeleton suits, but like not doing anything. They were just kind of shuffling around a little, but I was like, what is the point of this?
I guess it was like they were at the Monster Mash and those were the other dancers.
I guess, but they didn't give them anything to do.
That was weird. There was many weird things
Yes.
on this episode.
Well, that is true.
Yeah, and I mean, Harry and Riley, I guess they were supposed to be some sort of alien thing, but that's a lot of makeup.
Yeah.
It's an awful lot of makeup.
Yes.
That looked uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
That looked like, I mean, as bad as Jason's makeup was, it was at least just his face, and boy, did he run with it,
Mm-hmm.
too. Like, standing behind people all through the rest of the episode.
Right.
That face. He's going to be a meme.
Mm-hmm.
But just the whole body makeup in those colors with that, oh.
Yeah, you couldn't recognize either one of them. Maybe that was a strategy. Be like, don't forget who I've been for the last 6 weeks or whatever. Like, I'm a new
Could they do anything to
now.
completely change his body type?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I don't think so. I saw a lot of really, really harsh things about Harry and Riley after last week online.
Yeah.
So I get what he's talking about, but you can't. Number one, don't read the comments.
I was yelling at
What
the
are you
screen.
doing?
Don't read the comments.
We have a helpful graphic for that.
Yes.
I should send to them, But and also he's been on a reality show, so he knows that people are mean online, surely. Some forum I was on said he was not a good guy on that reality show either, so that this is all fake. That now he's like a delicate flower. But we'll see if the sympathy wins him votes, but don't whine.
Yeah, don't whine and don't read the comments. This is
read the comments.
101. We all know it.
You're not the only one getting bad scores. I guess you're getting the worst ones, but still.
Yeah.
Just roll with it. The fact that you're still there means people are voting for you.
Right.
So be grateful, like I think they said at some point. But I don't know.
Yeah.
He survived to whine another week.
He did.
Mauricio was the one who went home, and somebody I saw speculated that, as you mentioned last week, his wife had expressed some concern about him and Emma. And there was a thought that this cost him the votes of his wife's fans, which is probably what was keeping him there.
Oh, interesting.
Live by your wife's fans, die by your wife's fans, man.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean,
That is the case, but it sounds right.
I just got that from like a headline in People magazine. So
Yeah.
boy, oh boy.
He was a good sport.
He was a good sport.
And Barry must have some kind of voting block.
I
All the
know.
old ladies out there voting for Barry.
I really didn't think he would.
The Brady love is
I
strong.
mean, it's been a while since that show was on, and he really hasn't done much else.
The people who remember it are thrilled he's there.
Yeah.
I don't know that they vote as much as teeny boppers, but they vote.
Evidently.
So I'm constantly surprised, but I haven't watched it live in a number of weeks. But I got to get back to voting. But it's like I'm kind of like everybody who's still there. I would not know who to vote or not for.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's
Charity, just because she's a bachelorette.
she's a bachelorette, yes. But you can't. What a good thing to do on this show, if they ever wanted to mix it up, is allow you to vote for and or against.
Yeah.
But if it's just like, well, I'm not going to vote for that person. Well, they're getting a bunch of votes. It's really not going to hurt them that much.
Right.
Is voting for somebody else? I don't know. But I got to get back into it.
Yeah.
I like the people that's there.
I want to vote for many of them. So it's hard. And so then it's like,
many.
there's no point in doing it at all if you're
Exactly. That's why I've sort of been, I can watch the next day.
Right.
I liked when they were doing the dances at the end. Allison's strategy was just to keep from being noticed for long enough to win.
Right.
And I enjoyed that. That would be my strategy as well. You just stand over here in the corner. Y'all go ahead. But,
that was my, middle school softball in gym class strategy.
Oh, yes.
Stay in the outfield. Never, ever go up to bat.
Yes. When I was in elementary school and we would play soccer, I would always be defending the end of the field that nobody was in.
Right. I'll just stay over here.
Run in the opposite direction.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just in case the ball comes.
Right. I'm ready.
Please don't let the ball come. I won't know what to do with it. But she's hanging in too. Good for her. I don't know. It's interesting to think who will. I really wonder if Lele is getting just such a huge number of social media votes that they can keep voting her down. And also, they costumed her as Sochi this week. It's like, I kept getting confused because there's two girls with black hair and bangs.
Yeah, I guess at first I thought she was like Wednesday Addams, and then she was supposed to be some kind of a spider, was my ultimate thought.
Yeah,
but
I guess so.
Yeah, I know.
It just looked so weird.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. She still is continuing to get underrated, I think. But none of the dancing was spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think. They all looked a little tentative and awkward. Possibly because of the excellent work of the hair and makeup and costume people.
Exactly.
Who cares if they can dance in that?
Right.
Doesn't that look cool? Calm down, Dancing with the Stars.
Right.
So, the zombie on another week.
That's right.
So, on the Gilded Age, they did not have to wear lots of horrifying makeup and icky costumes, but they still do dress up quite a lot.
They certainly do.
Probably easier to move in mummy garb than in some of those dresses.
Yes, and they require other people to dress them, which becomes an important plot point in multiple storylines.
Right. Yes.
Just the one butler saying, but they can't entertain if their relative is dressing Mr. Russell.
Mr. Russell.
They can't entertain.
Oh dear,
no.
The shame.
And then at the very end, there's a mic drop of a character from the past returning.
Oh man, who I would have been overjoyed never to see again.
Yes.
Mrs. Russell's lady's maid, who had hopes of being the next Mrs. Russell.
That's right.
Which were unsuccessful. But now she's married to some elderly gentleman.
Some elderly rich guy.
Yep. And looks to be eager to lord it over her former employers.
That's right.
She's going to have a good time. She's not going to make up or apologize or just pretend it never happened. Nope. Nope. So.
Well, she knows that she has Bertha over a barrel because she can't be going around saying, "Oh, this was my maid."
Yes.
So. But. Yes, quite a lot of romantical intrigue in this one. Ooh.
Right. And poor Marion with the extremely unsuitable bow.
Yeah, he was awful. They really wanted to make clear that he was awful. And
he was cartoonishly awful.
Please do not miss.
He made Oscar look like a sparkling catch.
Yes, he sure did. And Oscar now has someone in mind once again.
That's right. And it's a good thing because last week I posited that Bertha would squish Oscar like a bug. But no, it was George.
Yes,
and boy, did he.
He sure did. After telling Gladys he would let him down easy.
Out of the window onto the street.
Yeah.
That was delightful. I enjoyed that. And he wants Gladys to fall in love.
That's right.
And she had to admit that even though Oscar makes her laugh and promised her a good life, well, there is that little matter of
Yeah.
no.
And what did George say? Like, Gladys said he promised me freedom or something like that. And he's like,
yes.
yeah, marriage is not your best move there, if that's what you're looking for.
That was delightful. Just the whole, yeah. How the scene between him and Gladys, where he gets her to go to Newport,
yes.
and then the scene between him and Oscar, in which he lets him down not easily at all, was, kudos to Morgan Spector. Those were wonderful scenes.
Yes,
but Larry is both got a job and a little something outside there from his new employer,
Laura Benanti,
who was not at all subtle in her intentions.
And of course, we know how Bertha responded to that. Not well. She's old enough to be your mother.
And George responded to it, well, young man, Wrong answer.
Right.
Oh, my. So Marion was rescued by Cousin Dashiell, conveniently there.
Amazing how that works.
Every time she needed rescue from Mr. Morgan.
Yes, her unsuitable dude.
Unsuitable suitor.
Yes, he's very conveniently around. Yes. Mr. Montgomery.
Nice? Yes. So, be nice to see what happens there. And Oscar has another. Bounces back remarkably well.
Right. Has another prospect who's just happened to be in Paris for the last number of years.
And we don't know her well enough to feel sorry for her, so that's fine. You go, Oscar. Just leave Gladys alone.
That's right. Yeah, about the only person who didn't come out with another potential person was Gladys, right? Did she meet anybody else this time?
I don't think she did, but she was sympathizing with Marion, which was cute.
Yes.
And Peggy is back.
Yes. And Armstrong, wow, girl, come on.
Not taking the hint
from her employer. All. And it was certainly not a hint at all. It was clear as it could be.
Be nice or you are out on your ass.
Right.
And she was not nice.
She was not nice. She was
deliberately and aggressively not nice.
Yeah, after crying about how she could never get another job.
Yes.
And as Agnes rightfully pointed out, it's up to you. If you behave, you will not have a problem.
Right.
So,
a difficult position for Peggy to be in, though, because you don't want to get somebody fired, but at the same time, come on. Right.
And Peggy's trying.
Everybody is against her. It's like, what are you doing?
Right.
She's being nice. Stop it.
Right.
So,
I do enjoy the cook at that house.
Yes.
She's just, well, she has to eat, she kept the secret of Marion having a job. Well, all I did was make her a lunch. She has to eat. Come on. Oh, she's fun.
The job.
Yes. And we're supposed to believe that Marion's an amazing teacher because Frances, her cousin, whatever, got frustrated and was about to rip up her painting, and Marion was like, just try again. And then Frances was like, okay.
Really?
She's just like,
well, that was easy.
Yeah. She's an amazing teacher.
Absolutely. Look at that. And then she rode home with Cousin Dashiell, and they were going to have their visit with the aunts, but
we didn't get to see it.
Never saw that.
I know.
We saw other social engagements.
We skipped right to the pastor,
right?
That Ada is so smitten with, and
she does,
and that Agnes is very annoyed. Like, I couldn't get a word in edgewise.
It's kind of Agnes's default setting, honestly.
Right, it really is.
And good, because she's amusing.
Yes, she was quite amusing.
Still some bad blood between the two butlers. Cross Street butlers.
Yes.
Forgiving but not forgetting.
Right. And that reminds me, because the one butler was taking the dog for a walk when they had their little conversation. Uh-huh. And during the scene where the rector was visiting, he was really aggressively petting that dog. Did you notice that? He was like,
I noticed the dog. I did not notice the petting.
Oh my gosh. It was like I don't know what he was.
The dog will be filing charges.
Yes. It was almost that. Like, what are you doing, sir? I don't understand. It was just, to me, it was extremely noticeable. Like, leave that poor animal alone, please. Or maybe the dog doesn't get enough affection from the rest of the household, and that he appreciated getting it from the rector, I guess.
Yeah. A manly sort of pet.
Right.
All these women.
Yes, exactly.
So Jack is fixing a clock, and much is made of this.
Right.
Is he going to turn out to be like some inventor we've heard of?
I don't know if it's going to be one we've heard of, or it's just going to be that's going to be his ticket to a life beyond service.
Maybe so.
And perhaps his ticket to picking up a cute German lady's maid from across the street.
That's right.
Because he seems to have lost interest in the one that lives in his house.
Certainly does. She beat him at cards, so no more for her.
Yeah.
But they made so much of this stupid alarm clock.
They really
It's
do.
like, well, this has to be leading to something.
Yes, most definitely.
So now we're 2 locations on this show. We've got Newport going on. We got New York going on.
Mm-hmm.
We no longer have Brooklyn going on.
That's right. I'm sure she'll make her way back to Brooklyn now and then. 'Cause we don't want to leave Audra McDonald forever.
No.
She wasn't even in this episode.
She was not.
I hope she'll be back.
Just a reminder of why we're sad.
Right.
And then she comes to the place where everything is so much better. Even a grouchy old lady can't get you down.
That's right.
Come on, Armstrong. What are you doing?
Get a grip, because you will be losing your job very soon.
Don't mess with Peggy.
And you're too old to have a turn as, coming back to haunt her by marrying some old rich guy.
Right, that's true.
That's not going to happen for you.
She's about the same age as the guy that the lady's maid married, but still.
Yes.
As with maids, those guys don't want somebody beyond the very youthful stage.
Right.
So, next week, we will be talking about Dancing with the Stars music video night.
That's what they said. Paula Abdul will be there.
Of course she will.
Judging. At least she's a dancer.
That's true.
She is.
I feel like they've had music video night before. Do they reenact music video dances?
I don't know. It may have been before my time.
And there also are going to be team dances. So that's how they're going to get rid of somebody.
Right, because they're at the point where they have to start doing extra things, like the dance marathon that they did this past time.
So this time it's the teams. So we will talk about that and the Gilded Age episode Head to Head. Did we find the significance of some kind of trick in this episode?
Good question.
The significance of You Don't Even Like Opera, that was actually a line.
That was a line,
episode 1. But episode 2, what was some kind of trick?
I mean, it was some kind of trick.
The thing at the very end?
Right, the lady's maid. I don't know.
It's a late use of your title.
Right.
Well, perhaps it will...
Maybe they'll tell us in the official podcast.
There you go. Have you been listening to that?
I mean, there's only been one so far.
Possibly we should.
Yeah. I did listen to the first one, and I listened to them last season, they're entertaining, but they're coming from inside the house. They're not independent. So that has its pluses and minuses, let's say.
So, Catherine, what do you have for Catherine's Library Find of the Week?
Well, I'm going to go a little bit off course here and mention something that is a TV show that I actually watched based on seeing it seeing the DVD come through the library.
Oh my.
It's this show called Jamestown, and as in like, pre-colonial or whatever, like early 17th century.
Yeah.
And so the DVD came by and it says right on the top of it, from the makers of Downton Abbey. And I was like, okay, sold.
Catherine.
So, yeah, it's a series. It ran from 2017 to 2019 about, the first settlers that came to Jamestown from England. So you get, in the first episode, you get them on the boat, and it's a boatload of women being brought over to marry all the men who have been there for a while, all by their lonesomes. So, of course, there's a lot of bad behavior that happens. Yes. And I think it might be like a British thing. I don't even know. And I don't recognize any of the people who are in it. But, it's just fun in the way that Downton Abbey and Outlander and shows like that are. So I am enjoying it, and I would have never heard of it if I didn't see the DVD come by.
Wow.
So
looking for something to watch on TV, go down to your library and look at the DVDs.
Just browse the DVDs. I mean, we have so many, and it cracks me up when I see 10 seasons of like Chicago Med or something come through. I'm like, did you watch all of this? Like, each box has like 6 DVDs in it, and whew, that's a lot of TV.
Yep, it is.
People are still out there watching DVDs.
They are. I couldn't get rid of my DVDs when I was getting rid of stuff. I got rid of my daughter's ones that had been sitting here since COVID because I never got them over to the library to donate.
Right.
But my own, I just want, as we discussed, I just want to look at them. I just want to know I still own them, even though I will probably never watch them.
Right.
But I could give them to the library as well.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, maybe.
Yeah.
And then somebody will say, yeah, it's seasons of these stupid shows. Who watches this stuff?
I mean, just yesterday I got somebody returned Leave It to Beaver and Andy Griffith Show. So they're really throwing it back sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I keep telling my husband he could watch those and stream them and stuff on various channels. He's like, I can just watch them on the regular TV.
Right.
They have them on. I said, but you don't. But you could like watch the very first one, and I don't know. I'll watch it on the regular TV.
Right.
He's
skeptical of streaming.
Yes, he doesn't watch them much, and he also, a lot of his baseball is now on streamers, and he's always has trouble finding the game, and so I think he's now had it with that. That's it. I don't want to be on any of those channels.
Right.
They're cramming.
Right.
But
Oh well. Yes.
more for the rest of us.
More streaming content for the rest of us.
Yeah, I just quit Hulu and Disney in a fit of annoyance that they somehow could not find a way to charge the credit card they've been charging forever, and everybody else can charge just fine. So I said, fine, you don't want my business? Go away.
Yeah.
I canceled it. And then my daughter comes to me and says, could I just go ahead and pay for it myself? Could I just go do it? And I said, yeah, go ahead, but I'm making her watch the commercials for a few months to make sure she really wants it. Commercial Hulu, because it's like so much cheaper.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the archives this week, we are going to talk about things we discussed 1 year ago, 2 years ago, and 3 years ago this week. It's kind of a recent one.
Yeah, we're keeping it recent this week.
Yes. nothing to do with the fact that I filled out the things at the last minute and you had to pick ones before I was done. It's fine. So, oh my gosh, this first one. Or a year ago this week, we discussed family to-do lists and how one person in a family, say, I don't know, me, might have a certain urgency about the to-do list. And the other people in the family might just see it as that thing mom keeps
optional.
Right. And it's still that way. And it will always be that way. And it drives me crazy. I ask people to do things and they say yes. And then they don't do them. And then they seem surprised when I mention it. Like, okay, so you're going to do that thing now. What? Oh, no, not today. But you said you were going to do it. Well, I'll do it some other time. But no.
Right. They are using my strategy of just agree.
Yes.
Because whenever my husband asks me to do something, I usually just say yes. And then I may or may not actually do it. Because I don't like the way he is like, someone needs to. Like, yeah, what someone that, like just spit it out,
Yes.
So.
Yeah, we have this whole thing downstairs, as I've discussed many times before, the downstairs apartment that my daughter is now slowly moving into. She's sleeping down there, which I would think would be the last thing she would want to do, but it's the first. And there's a lot of my husband's mother's stuff still there.
Right.
Including a china cabinet full of stuff. But also kitchen cabinets full of stuff. A medicine cabinet full of stuff. I feel like it's my husband's job to remove and go through those things. If any of them are something my daughter could use, the two of them could look at everything.
Right.
And then, box up the stuff we don't want and I'll have somebody come and take it away. That doesn't feel like that should be my job. That feels like it should be the job of the son of the previous owner. And I make that case. And he goes, oh, yeah, okay.
Right.
And then every week when he has a week off, I say, so today you're going to go down with our daughter and do that, right? And he says, oh, yeah, yeah. And then he sits on the couch and watches TV for 3 hours. And it's like, you're going to do that thing, right? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
These people do not understand the concept of a to-do list, Catherine.
I know. And the issue
is to check things off.
Right? Or else why write them down? The issue I have is that the children don't live here right now, so yeah. I don't know if they're doing things. I can say, oh, make sure you send a message to your grandmother or take your medicine or, check in with your advisor or whatever. And maybe they'll do it. Maybe they won't, but I won't know.
Yeah, that's crazy making.
So that's hard.
That would bother me.
Yeah.
Big time. Also bothering is holiday stuff with family.
Right.
Last year, my brother-in-law and sister-in-law and their adult kids came not for Thanksgiving, but for a couple of weeks before when our town has a race through town. Or through,
like a 5K or something?
Yeah. And they've done it for years and years. My son usually walks it with this social group that he goes to. And my niece is a runner, so she decided she wanted to come and run it. So it worked out really well. They came, we had like a Thanksgiving dinner the night before, and then the next day they did the race and then they left. So that was good. So, my sister-in-law calls, you want to do it again this year? Yes, let's do it again this year. But there's some complications this year. Number one, they now have a dog, which they want to bring with them to stay in our house. The place where they previously stayed in our house, the downstairs apartment, now kind of occupied.
Right.
Do we have another guest room? Really not, because my daughter is half and half at this point. So where are we going to put them? And also, Boston Market, our purveyor of Thanksgiving items so that I don't have to cook, has gone belly up, at least in New Jersey. So what are we going to eat? So it's like, sure, come, but maybe sleep someplace else with your dog. So
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if my dog likes other dogs. I don't know if my dog would be threatened by another dog suddenly in the house.
Yeah.
See our earlier discussion.
Right.
So it just suddenly got really, really complicated.
Yeah.
So yay, family togetherness. Nice to see you all. How about a Zoom meeting?
Right.
Do you have any holiday plans?
Well, I'd mentioned before that we ended up, because this, 2 years ago when we talked about this, it was a lot about like how when your kids are little, you just tell them what we're doing and do it,
Right.
and as they get older, it gets more complicated. They have different commitments and lives and everything else. And that happened to us this year. My family, we usually celebrate with my side of the family, and they are in California this year. And, that was going to be really hard for us to try to fit in between the two kids on different school schedules and then my work schedule. And it, so we were like, no, and also last year when my brother-in-law and niece came for Christmas, we talked about how we were going to do Thanksgiving together this year. And, they set a goal to get their dogs organized so that they could leave them somewhere. And, but then they haven't really done that. And then my niece went out of the country. And so she's doing an internship away from home. So she's not going to be around. And then I was going to have to work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like all this stuff. And my husband was like, well, he really wanted to go somewhere and do something. And where we finally landed was we are going to the town where my daughter lives, the city where my daughter goes to school. And we are getting an Airbnb and staying there and doing Thanksgiving there, on Tuesday. So, and as I said before, we are bringing the dogs. And so for the kids, my son, he's whatever, because he's going to be coming home and possibly seeing some of his high school friends like the weekends before and after, because he has the whole week off, but my daughter doesn't, and she has skating and blah, blah, blah. So we're bringing it to her, and we'll see, because
good
it's going to involve transporting a whole lot of stuff, I think, from home.
Stuff live and inert.
Yes, exactly. Frozen turkey, because he already has...
Do not put the frozen turkey in the same car as the dogs. I would separate those two items.
Yes, exactly. And we want to bring their crate because, we want to have that at the Airbnb. And
right.
And it's big, it's not a travel crate. It's a crate you keep in the kitchen all the time. And they both fit in it. So anyway... Yeah.
Nothing's ever easy.
No. So then we need someone to vent about it.
That was some good venting we did right there.
That's right.
I think this illustrates in let's see, 4 years ago in 2019, we talked about who's your vent buddy. And I think all things considered, my vent buddy is all of you listeners.
Yep.
I just come on here and I vent about something and leave it there, and then I feel better.
Yep.
And then I edit it and I listen to it again and I say, yeah, that's right. And then I listen to it again on my podcast player and I go, you know what? Maybe I should calm down about that.
It's a cycle.
Lets the steam right out.
That's right. It's a sequence that you have to go through. And when you get through it,
all our listeners, real and imaginary, human and bot, thank you.
That's right.
Thank you for giving me the illusion of having shared my problems with people. You're real, aren't you, Catherine?
I am real.
Maybe you're my vent buddy.
I am real. I think...
You are not a robot.
That's right. Not a girl. What did Janet always say?
With a bicycle in it. Yeah, that's right.
Janet would say, I'm not a girl. I'm not a robot. I'm not a girl. So, yeah. I think it is important to have a vent buddy. I'm not entirely sure who mine is. If it's not you and the listeners, then I'm not sure. So,
well, it's nice because there are very few real world repercussions when you vent to the listeners, because nobody I know listens to my podcast. And if you do, please don't tell me, because then I'll be embarrassed and I'll never talk about anything.
That's right.
But I mean, I also do have a friend that I vent to. And I was trying to think who my kids' vent buddies are. And we pay for my daughter to have a vent buddy. We pay
a therapist
for her to go and vent. So that works out okay. And then I think my son has imaginary vent buddies, because I hear him. He'll come home and they'll go in his room and they'll be talking up a storm. And I press my ear against the door sometime to try to figure it out, because it's like, are you talking over something that happened with your imaginary friends?
Right.
But, whatever works for you. Important thing is to get it out.
That's right. Definitely.
If you're talking about your mom, don't do it too loud, because I don't want to know.
Right. I don't need to hear that.
Yeah.
Everything else I want to hear, but not that.
Right. Well, yeah, during the era of Zoom therapy, I had to keep saying, you have to close the door when you have your Zoom therapy, because if I can hear it, I'm going to come in and tell my side of the story.
Exactly.
I think she used to go sit in her car.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
But, you can't not listen if somebody is talking loudly.
No.
And you kind of want to listen, and then there's a problem.
Right.
I didn't say that.
Right.
Let me go tell her. Ay.
Yes.
Well, guess we vented enough for one day, huh?
Yes, I think we have. So we'll say that's it for the Parenting Roundabout Weekly Roundup. You can find all our episodes filled with venting on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can find recaps, links, and an opportunity to comment on our website at parentingroundabout.com. You can also talk to us on our Facebook page, on Instagram or Twitter, where you'll find us at Roundabout Chat. And please visit our Amazon shop at amazon.com/shop/mamitude, where you can find links to a lot of the things we've talked about over the years. We'll see you back here next Tuesday. Bye, Terry.
Bye, Catherine.
Bye, everyone.